A lot happened today, huh, Kane? Narco asked quietly as the two made their way to her home. Yeah, it's been an exhausting day, Kane agreed wholeheartedly. Mm-hmm. The two fell into a comfortable silence. Think we'll do good on the tuning exams? Kane asked, curious to hear her thoughts. Of course we will. We're going to kick that exam's ass, Datebayo, Narco said with a little fist pump. Kane smiled at her answer. As the pair approached Narco's home, she turned and gave him a strained smile. Kane, he blinked. Yeah? After we're done with the tuning exams, let's talk, okay? She nearly whispered. Kane stared at her for several long, drawn-out moments. Okay. She gave him a genuine smile as she leaned forward and pecked him on the cheek. I'll see you tomorrow. As Kane made his way towards home, on one hand on the cheek where she kissed him, Kane's thoughts were filled with the exhausting events of the day. Kane's attention was solely locked onto his two teammates walking towards him. Sasuke and Kane locked eyes and gave each other nods. Narco and Kane locked eyes and gave each other nods. No words were needed. Let's go, Sasuke commanded as he took the lead, Narco and Kane flanking each side. The trio halted as they came in contact with another team, presumably also making their way to the location of the first exam. Naruto and Sasuke began sizing up their opponents, trying to judge through looks alone the strength of the competition. Kane, on the other hand, was doing no such thing. His eyes were locked firmly on the person in the center, who was staring straight back. Kane felt a shiver roll up his spine. Who are you? The female of the other group spoke, the question as a command. It's proper manners to give your own name before asking for someone else's, Naruto snipped back at her as Sasuke smirked. The boy on the left came to her defense, clearly not liking the tone Naruto used. Oh yeah? Let's see you talk about proper manners while I'm... Shut up, Kankuro. All eyes snapped to the redhead, and a chill was felt by everyone. I am Sabaku no Gaara, Gaara spoke, his eyes still staring directly at Kane. Nobody moved, nobody spoke. Tell me your name, Gaara spoke again, eyes never even blinking. Kane. Kane Sanguis. Kane said with a lot less confidence than he wanted to. Kane Sanguis. I will remember that name. He spoke slowly, like a cat ready to pounce. For the first time, Gaara's eyes left Kane's own. His eyes flashed over to Naruto. And yours as well, Naruto Namikaze. Naruto gave him a harsh glare. Come, Gaara commanded as he walked past Team 7, Kankuro and Tamari following close behind. I don't like how he knew my name without even asking for it. Being the daughter of the 4th Hokage can seriously get annoying sometimes. Naruto griped as the three entered the building where the exam would be held. Kane was still in shock. So that was Sabaku no Gaara, the son of the Kazekage, Kane thought to himself, the host of Shukaku. Naruto! A shrill voice screeched as suddenly there was a flash of red before Naruto was tackled to the ground. Karen! Naruto snapped at the redhead lying on top of her. The two girls stood up and immediately began chattering excitedly and too quickly for either Kane or Sasuke to catch. What are you doing here? Naruto yelled with a huge grin on her face. Isn't it obvious? I'm here for the exams. Karen spoke with pride. Naruto audibly gasped. You're on a team? Karen grinned at the blonde before pointing to her forehead protector. Yep, only ninja team from Tanigakure, the village hidden in the valleys. Where's that at? Naruto asked in confusion. It's between the Hidden Leaf and the Hidden Sand villages, hidden in the land of rivers. Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Karen, Naruto beamed. Naruto swiftly turned to her teammates. Kane, Sasuke, this is Karen. She's my cousin, Naruto said with pride. Karen took one look at Sasuke and blushed. It's nice to meet you, Karen said with a flirty smile thrown his way. Sasuke grunted. Karen's amazing, you guys. Her chakra's like magical. If you bite her and drink her chakra, it heals any wounds you have super fast, Naruko said with pride in her cousin. Naruko, you can't just tell everyone about my abilities. We're about to take an exam, Karen scolded her. What? But, Karen, we're family. We aren't going to fight you. In fact, the three of us will watch out for you and your team. Right, guys? Naruko turned to the boys with a huge smile on her face. See? Naruko beamed as they said, excitedly, what she wanted to hear. Karen rolled her eyes before smiling again. Okay, Naruko, it was amazing seeing you again, but I need to go find my teammates. See you in the exam, Karen waved as she walked off. Bye, Karen, Naruko spoke as she waved wildly. Excuse me, an unknown voice chimed in from behind the three genin. The three turned around only to find a young man with a bowl-cut hairdo and green spandex. My name is Rock Lee, Naruko Namikaze, Sasuke Uchiha. Please, fight me. You sure you want to do this? Naruko said with a smirk as she stretched, eyes on the strange green-clad ninja in front of her. She won the game of rock, paper, scissors against Sasuke, and got to go first. Yes, I wish to prove myself by defeating a prodigy. Naruko paused. You don't have to prove yourself, Lee. At least not to me. Lee gave her a confused look. What do you mean, Naruko-san? I mean, I already know all about you. You're awesome. During my final year in the academy, I used to bother my dad all the time about that class that graduated before us. Your team was my favorite to hear about. I really admire your determination, and I know, someday, you can surpass Hyuga Neji, Naruko said with determination and a twinkle in her eye as she fist-pumped. Rock Lee cried, anime tears of joy. Thank you, Naruko-san. I will strive to prove myself worthy of your praise. I will become a splendid ninja. Naruko smirked. Well, before that, I'm afraid I'm going to rough you up a bit. Lee turned serious immediately. Please try. Naruko launched herself at Lee and was promptly thrown to the ground, her head staring up at the ceiling, wondering what in the hell just happened. I believe that is game, Naruko-san. Naruko was in so much shock that she didn't move. As Kane dragged Naruko away, Sasuke stood before Rock Lee. He hadn't been taking this seriously before, but now he knew that this guy meant business. This guy was clearly good at taijutsu. Naruko's taijutsu was good, but she was nowhere near as good as Sasuke, and that was without the Sharingan. With it, Sasuke was in a class of his own. As Sasuke stared at Rock Lee with twin double Tomoe Sharingan eyes, he smirked. He would take him out quickly. Sasuke charged, Lee standing patiently in a sideways stance, with one arm up. Sasuke threw the first punch, and his eyes widened as Lee gave the top of his fist a slight poke, causing him to miss entirely, and Lee himself wide open as the momentum of his swing carried him forward. Lee jumped into the air, eyes staring into Sasuke's own, and Sasuke knew he had lost. Leaf Hurricane! Kane stared in shock as Sasuke was thrown across the room, landing near him and Naruko. Yosh! I did it, Guy-sensei. I've defeated the prodigies. Neji, you shall be next. Rock Lee screamed as he excitedly shook a fist towards the air, literal fire in his eyes. Rock Lee? Kane spoke out loud, surprising himself. Lee turned to Kane. Yes. Kane hesitated. He hadn't meant to speak out loud, but he's curious. Why do you want to beat the prodigy so badly? Lee got a determined look on his face. To prove that even someone like me, with no talent whatsoever, can become a splendid ninja. That is my dream. Kane decided he liked Rock Lee. Naruko and Sasuke walked gloomily as Kane stood between the two. Sasuke was scowling with his head down as Naruko looked like he wanted to punch the floor. Kane couldn't stop smiling. A talentless ninja Rock Lee called himself. He summarily whooped Sasuke and Naruto's asses. Maybe he could become like Rock Lee someday. His smile widened as the three entered the room where all the tuning exam candidates were gathering. "Sasuke-kun," a shrill voice screeched as suddenly Sasuke found himself glomped by a blonde-haired girl. "Get off me, Ino," Sasuke growled out. "Yeah, get off him, Ino pig," another voice screeched as a pink-haired girl marched over, glaring at the blonde. Ino stuck her tongue out at the pinkette. "What's the matter, billboard brow? Jealous?" Sakura grit her teeth in anger as she seethed. "Hey, you guys, you made it," a chubby boy said as he walked up alongside a black-haired boy with a ponytail. "Oh man, you guys came. What a drag. I guess it was too much to ask for the two of you to not be here," Shikamaru spoke as he lazily glanced over at Naruto and Sasuke. Hey, looks like the whole gang's here," a boy with weird red markings on his cheeks said as another boy with sunglasses that hid his eyes followed close behind. "I hope you've gotten stronger, Sasuke. I know I have. And if you haven't, I'll be kicking your ass in this exam," Kiba said with a confident grin at Sasuke. You're not worth my time." Sasuke dismissed him. Kiba looked furious as Shino placed a hand on his shoulder to calm him. Team 8, consisting of Kiba Inuzuka and his dog Akamaru, Shino Aburame, and Sakura Haruno. Team 10, consisting of this generation's version of the famous Ina Shika Cho trio, Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru, Nara, and Choji Akamichi. During his academy years, Kane kept to himself as much as possible. He always sat in the farthest seat in the back, as far from Iruka as he could get, and he never spoke. Despite this, or perhaps because of it, he spent a lot of time observing his peers. Kane didn't like Kiba. He was the loudest of the crew, second only to Naruto, and he had an ego that could even give Sasuke a run for his money. Kane didn't have anything against the guy. He just didn't like him. His dog was cute, though. On the other end of the spectrum, there was Shino. Shino was by far the quietest. He spoke as much as Kane did. Kane didn't have an opinion on the guy because of this, but he appreciated having another loner in the class at the time. Sakura Haruno was a pain. She had this screeching tone of voice that just grated on Kane's nerves, and she was always sucking up to Sasuke. Kane would admit she was smart, though. Best grades in class. Ino Yamanaka was no different. Sasuke this, Sasuke that. At least Ino showed a bit more class than Sakura, likely due to coming from a prestigious clan, but she was still nothing more than a fangirl. Shikamaru Nara was the laziest person Kane had ever seen. He would admit he held a grudging respect for the guy after watching him stare Iruka right in the face and proceeded to lay his head down for a nap. Anyone who disrespected Iruka so blatantly was alright in Kane's book. Choji Akamichi was a nice guy. Kane had never spoken to him, but he was probably his favorite of his classmates at the time. Naruto and Sasuke were his favorites now, of course, but at the time he liked Choji the best. The guy was just so genuine, something Kane found to be a rarity. As the group of 9 continued to interact, Kane felt his skin crawl. He felt as if he was being watched by multiple people, as if the entire room had their eyes on him and him alone. He kept going, dismissing the suspicion he felt. His eyes stopped immediately as they connected with green, vicious eyes. Kane felt the coil deep in his belly as he found Gaara staring at him. Curiosity, and something else in Kane couldn't describe in his eyes. Kane turned his back to the redhead and focused on the chattering of his peers, trying to ignore the dread he felt at Gaara's penetrating gaze. Being self-taught was both a blessing and a curse in Kane's opinion. It was a blessing because there was things he knew that nobody else did. He found interesting that he could focus his time and attention on. It was a curse because there were also things he didn't know, and most definitely should. Kane stared at the paper in front of him. They were in the middle of the first exam, proctored by Ibiki Morino. These questions were ridiculous. There's no way even a quarter of the people in this room would be able to answer these. Kane was different. Almost, at least. Kane was used to difficult questions thanks to Aruka. While the questions Aruka gave Kane weren't hard, he was harshly graded. Thanks to this, Kane was good at giving deep, complicated answers to questions, no matter how simple or complex the question itself was. Really, to Kane, these questions were no harder than the Academy questions. If anything, they were easier. It was the same concept, only these questions gave Kane more information to work with than he was used to. The only problem, Kane sucked at math. Kane had always struggled with it, and there was nobody to teach him the proper formulas or methods, so Kane's math was atrocious. Over half the questions involved math of some kind. Kane could answer everything about the question right up until he had to do math. Then he was stumped, so he just went for partial credit. He was confident his score would be passable so long as his answers were correct. As Abiki explained the rules for the 10th and final question, Kane didn't falter. If there was one thing he could do for his team, it was answer these crappy questions. He would not drag Naruko and Sasuke down. Not this time. Kane was startled when Naruko slammed her hand onto the desk in front of her and stood up. "Do you even know who I am? I'm Naruko Namikaze. I'm not scared of some stupid question. Go ahead and fail me if I get it wrong. I'll still become Hokage someday. Date bayo!" Naruko yelled with determination. Kane couldn't help but feel the awe he felt for the girl when he saw her words impact the entire room. Everyone was emboldened by Naruko, including Kane. He would pass this test with Naruko and Sasuke, and then he would become a Chunin, or his name wasn't Kane Sanguis, Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Kitsune, member of Team 7. End of chapter 14. Alright, thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Appreciate it.